to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have waited patiently. Thank you for waiting patiently for us. We went offline due to technical issues beyond comprehension and reach. By God's grace, we are back on the line. Stand up for the champions. I'm happy when Manchester disunited always loses their matches. Onana was some rough.
Do you think it was our fault?
Oh, look at where I think the first goal, he had already taken that position on the right. And the ball still went through that the same direction.
Yesterday I was saying, when they scored their goal, it was 27 minutes. After equalized in a minute.
That's right.
When they scored, Onana was celebrating. So I think he was still in that mood. Yeah. So he even forgot.
But Rashford's goal was fantastic.
It was, you see, they were playing laid back. So it was a counter. But I blame the Arsenal defenders. They know he's right-footed. So he will cut onto his right. That's his strongest foot. But they were all standing there giving him space.
It's serious.
Yeah.
But, Onana, I say he's welcome to the league of Obia Nyobia. Anyway, yes, here.
I think De Gea is a better shot stopper than he is. But he's good with his feet. His distribution is better than De Gea's. That's why Manchester United.
Now De Gea is vindicated.
Yeah.
One day, Manchester will miss Ronaldo. He wasn't the problem.
No. He wasn't.
But they made it look like he was the problem.
He wasn't.
Oh, last weekend I was happy again when he scored another goal.
Yeah.
850 goals.
850th goal for Ronaldo.
My goodness.
He wants to reach 1,000 goal barrier. They won 5 goals to 1. Yeah. Manu was also on the score sheet.
Wow.
So it's been.
And he gave 2 assists also.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
And yesterday too, Messi gave 2 assists.
That's right.
3-1.
That's right.
So they are still not. They are still giving out their best.
Anyway, what's happening in the world of sports? What do you have for us this morning?
So Manchester City won 5 goals to 1.
That's right.
When
we want to score you, we score you. We beat you to the core.
Yeah, they beat you and you know they are beating you.
That's right.
Erling Haaland scored a hat-trick.
Wow.
Yeah. And on that Saturday, 3 players in the English Premier League scored a hat-trick.
Amazing.
So Ivan Ferguson for Brighton scored a hat-trick.
That team is a team to watch.
Yeah. They beat Newcastle.
That's right.
Newcastle. So, and Heung-min Son, Tottenham Hotspur also scored a hat-trick.
Wow. And Tottenham is on fire this season.
You know, their coach, I don't know. Everyone is... No, Postecoglou.
Okay.
Postecoglou, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Pochettino is Chelsea.
Chelsea now. Oh, okay. No wonder they are losing.
Their ex-manager. Postecoglou has a system. Right. Even though Richarlison is not firing, he's playing a teamwork. He has brought him Madison from Leicester. And they are playing beautiful football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, tell us what's happening.
So yesterday, the Manchester United coach was asked about Jadon Sancho. And he made a comment that based on performance, he didn't select him. And Sancho came out on Instagram to say, please don't believe everything you read. He says he gives up like 100% in training. But right. He has been the scapegoat for a long time. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, that guy was a fantastic player until the hand came.
So let's see. But as a player, if you come out and make statements like this,
to go against
you,
they will start attacking. Yeah. And they know how to make you useless.
Yeah. If I'm the coach and you're making a statement like that, you should come to me.
Yeah.
You know where my office
Let's
is.
judge all.
Yeah. And right now we are making the statement. It's very bad.
Well, I have always been saying that you can't control people's emotions when they are peeved or upset.
I think right now the footballers of this age are, excuse me, say sport brats. Back in the day when the early 2000s, you don't even have a cell phone in the dressing room.
That's right.
Yeah, everything goes through the manager.
That's right.
Things happen, it stays there. Yeah. But right now,
they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And interestingly, when they have money more than their money.
They have money. Now, even before they sign professional contracts, they have money.
That's right.
So yesterday, they asked Arteta about Partey's injury. He has a groin injury, and he said it's not looking good. There's rumors out that he could be out for 3 months. So we'll miss him during the qualifiers.
And I think when he's back, that will be the end of his career.
And
that will be the end of his career.
His Black Star career,
all that he's doing.
Why is it?
Because already they wanted to, let go.
Yeah, they wanted to let go, but the money Saudi wanted to pay for him was so much. I even thought Partey would go to Saudi.
Good.
Yeah, they wanted to let go.
And for him to stay, and he going on for lack of better word, hiatus, like he's going to, we cooperate and come back. It's also another thing. Somebody is going to play your position.
Yeah, that's why they brought in Declan Rice for 100 million. Yeah,
it's another thing.
Yeah, but I think Partey, every time he comes back, he will just slot into that team because he's good.
So how do you assess the new Hammer?
He only played a couple of minutes, not even up to 4 minutes.
Me, I didn't feel the vibe.
You see, I think he's a possession. He's coming from Ajax, a team that possesses the ball. And now he's at West Ham, a team that don't possess. They defend and they like to play on the counter. So it's two different teams. So let's see how he copes.
I pray he does well.
Oh, he's a Nima boy. He's a hard guy.
My hard guy was Muntari.
Muntari. Yeah, so you see,
I'll miss that boy every day. My goodness. If you want us to play nonsense, you will play nonsense for you.
Don't you see similarities with them?
Yeah.
But I think
with this guy too, what's his name? Achu's friend.
Wakasu.
Yeah. He was also like that. But Sule.
Good midfielder. I don't know.
If he has to slap and take nonsense out of you, he will slap.
He's a no-nonsense
I'm telling
person.
you. And some crazy tackles.
Yes. Right now, the list for the AFCON qualifiers is out.
The Dayu is still in.
According to Chris Newton, players like Partey and Abate are out, so he needs the experience. But people are bashing him. This guy is without a club.
Oh, but he's training, no?
No, he's training. Then you train.
Really training.
You train, but if you are playing for Nottingham Forest and they let you go for a free.
Now you know this United, their team captain, former team captain. What's his name? Maguire.
Yeah.
He's been called by the English team.
Well,
even though he's not playing.
But yesterday he came on.
Oh, at least
no, at least Maguire is training at a high level with the players. So when he plays for England, he performs very well.
Very
well.
Very.
So I don't know if it's the system, but you can say.
Well, in Africa, we say somebody have cast a spell against you.
So let me run through the call-ups. The goalkeepers: Loris Atizigi, Abdul Manaf Nuruddin, and Richard Ofori.
I'm proud of this guy. He's done his best. My namesake. He's done his best to, take the first spot.
Yeah, Loris.
Because when one falls, another takes over. Because the guy in charge was doing very well.
Yeah. He wasn't called up this time.
Yeah.
You see, I think with goalkeeping, since Olili left, we've had problems. We are changing, bringing anyone in. We've not had a solid goalkeeper. And in football, if you have a good goalkeeper, you win trophies. So the defenders, we have Alidu Seidu, we have Stefan Ambrosius, we have Joseph Edo, we have Alexander Jiku, Nicolas Opoku, Baba Abdul Rahman. Again, Gideon Bensa. Baba Rahman is there. Yeah.
For what?
So when this list came, people were saying they feel Chris Newton is still controlled by the GFA.
And so we'll vote out Kek Okreku.
So
that guy has messed up almost everything about Ghana football. Tell me, apart from the ladies who is it under 17? No, the Wafu something they won it. Under 17, yes, the women won.
My issue with him is that since he came, the Black Stars haven't made it through.
They keep going down
the group stages.
Yes,
and I don't know what the problem is. So the midfielders, we have Baba Idrisu, Edward Addo, Elisha Owusu, Mohamed Kudus, Abdul Sabet Salis, Andre Dede Ayu, and Rashford Causes Dedoff. His name is German too. And the forwards, we have Idiaki Williams, your man, who is here to score a goal for us.
I'm telling you.
Antoine Semenyo, Jonathan Ayu, Edes Tuamba, Osman Bukari, Joseph Peso, and Jonathan Soa. I think it's a decent squad, but there are some players there who don't need to be playing for us again. You see, Jordi Alba recently retired from the Spain national team because he knows his time. Even though he can offer more, and if it's even fits that they are you, he said no. It's time for someone else to go through. Sure. So that's what our players need to do. Moving on, Gavi, the Barcelona midfielder. He's only 19 years, but he has played 100 games for Barcelona. Amazing. Yeah, that is a record. The youngest Barca player ever to reach that milestone. And Mo Salah, there were controversies this week. Still, the Saudi league, this thing, they sent 150 million to purchase him, but Liverpool said no.
No.
Yes, and he scored a goal, so the fans are okay.
But he wants to go.
You see the money coming in.
You know, he's also from that Muslim background.
Arab, so
you feel good about it.
They'll treat him with a superstar status, and he's a world-class player too.
He's done his part. He should go for the money.
He wants to, but Liverpool wants him to stay. You know, and Sergio Ramos to Sevilla. Yeah, it's a team he left 80 years ago to Real Madrid, so it's a welcome back home. He had interest from Saudi clubs. At one point, I thought he was even going to Saudi.
That guy. What a defender. He knew how to handle Salah during the 2018 Champions League final. Broke the arm, and I know they gave him a plan, a dossier on Salah.
Take Salah out.
Make sure.
We'll win the Champions League.
And he did it nicely. They were all rolling, and he was still holding the hand.
The way he did it, the referee were looking at fire. They couldn't find any.
Hey.
So Juan Mata signs as new Vissel Kobe player after leaving Galatasaray. Okay. He joined recently, but he has left. So this is a club Andres Iniesta spent 5 years with in Japan.
Wow.
So there's another Spaniard there. Yes, and Divock Origi, the former Liverpool man, is on loan to Nottingham Forest. Okay. Nottingham Forest too have signed a lot of players this season. And Atletico Madrid winger Yannick Carrasco has arrived in Saudi Arabia. Wow. He will be unveiled as Al Shabab player today.
Wow.
Yeah. And Kyle Walker signs new deal, your right back. Bayern wanted him. He said he was very close to signing for Bayern, but he stays. Pep still needs those experiences.
He's a fantastic guy. I just love him.
So the new,
very gentle. I mean, I just like him.
Very, very experienced. So he's staying until 2026.
That's fine.
Yeah, 2026.
When he's done, he can hang his boots.
Yeah, he has won everything. He has won everything. And before I go, I want to run a story on a transfer news that happened some years back. So they wanted Peter Odemwingie, the former Nigerian striker. Thought
that guy was very good.
very good. He thought QPR wanted to sign him, so he drove his car to QPR. He wanted to beat the deadline day, but when he got there, they didn't even allow him to enter their premises. Wow. So it was one of the shockers of the deadline days. And one that happened some years back in 2015 was the year wanted to go to Real Madrid. Wow. And it didn't happen because Man United stated that their fax machine got broken. So they kept the gear because of a fax machine. That's even Europe. So those are some of the stories we have for today.
Thank you. Stand up for the champions. Thank you, Alexis Speak. For the sports update, we'll go for a break, and when we are back, we'll do more. 4 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio. We're streaming live and rocking wide on www.modernghana.com online, radiobox.com. We have a lot in store for you, so stick and stay right here. Mpɔtam.
So
Oh, my baby, 5 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com online, radiobox.com. So I have on the line Honorable Daniel Shama, former MP, Buem constituency, to discuss some political issues and nation building issues with us this morning. Honorable.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you doing too with PAPALAW Radio?
The Lord is faithful. Welcome to PAPALAW Radio and Mpɔtam Morning Show.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing this morning? Have you gotten your cocoa, your porridge?
I was trying to buy some eggs on the way, but the traffic wouldn't allow me. Man.
That's amazing.
So I'm driving to town, but I'm sure I'll get some breakfast very soon.
Sure. We thank God. Honorable, how do you describe the state of Ghana and the economy?
It is like an ICU patient. Today I just want to put it short. Our economy is at the ICU. It's very fragile. And still people are complaining, parents are complaining. As I said last week, students, schools are reopening, universities, and parents have to pay. And it's not easy. It's not easy. People are feeling the pain of the economy. That is what it is today. And the most unfortunate thing is, from first, the electricity tariffs and the water have been increased automatically, but the salaries of parents have not been increased. Various taxes are coming into play, but the salaries are still the same. So you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that things are difficult for Ghanaians, especially for a Ghanaian worker and parent. And even the youth that we are caring for, they don't feel comfortable. So it means somebody's mismanagement have taken the joy off the table of the youth. It has taken the joy off the table of the parents. And it has also taken the joy off the table of a Ghanaian worker. That is what it is. Today, go and find out the cost of even a vehicle, this VIX, Toyota VIX, something that was being sold even at the beginning of last year, 30,000, 33,000. Today, go and ask. It's about 60,000. So you ask yourself, what is happening? But somebody will tell you that I was saving the country. That was Addison. Saving the country. You cut money, cutting machine. You cut money and push it into the economy. At that time, they were behaving as if they don't know why. The minority told them that you are cutting money and that is why the inflation is high. They say no, they were not cutting money. Today, the report has come. Not knowing they were seriously cutting money, telling us that they are supporting the government. And then you listen to Addison, and he'll tell you that, oh, that is why last year you didn't see queues at the pump. You didn't see essential commodities shorting on the shelves. As if he's talking to kindergarten children in this country. Because the truth of the matter is that with the the fuel aspect, government is no more what? Subsidizing fuel. Is government still subsidizing fuel? No. So if you tell me we don't see queues at the pump, government is not subsidizing fuel. The only thing you do is to get dollars for those who bring in the oil, and then they give you the money. So how can that be a base for you or basis for you to be cutting money for a very reckless and useless government whose aim is to squander our money? Those are some of the things. Today, the essential commodities are no more being imported by government. They are imported by the private sector. You go to town, you see China more. You go to town, you see Melcom. You go to town, you see ShopRite. Is it government entity? No. They are individuals. So these people are behaving like thieves, deceiving us. They thought we are all stooges. We can't understand the economy. That is not it. They are being reckless. Doc, just take your pen. If the MPP people told us that during COVID they spent 21 billion, Doc, have you written that?
Yes.
Now, why are we accruing 48 billion from Ministry of Finance to dislodge this debt to Bank of Ghana? Where from the rest of the money?
It's amazing.
Because they are talking about Ukraine-Russia war, and they spend 21 billion. Take 21 billion out of 48 billion. You still have 27 billion. Thieves on the throne.
And we are
on the throne.
And we are at IMF for just $3 billion US
yes.
dollars.
Yes.
And we've received $600 million, and we are so excited.
Yes.
Waiting for the next tranche. Amazing.
As if they have done some yeoman job. These are incompetent bunch of appointees. What yeoman job have they done? They should look at the previous balance sheet of the Bank of Ghana and look at it today. A whole Minister of Finance sitting on the throne and 52.5 billion Ghana cedis telling us as Ghanaians as if we don't have brains, as if we only have what? A cow milk wadashi in our head. That the money has been transferred into unknown source. Go and tell this to the what? Marines, not us. You see, so that is what is happening today. That is what is happening today. And on top of that, the president has packed the courts. When he sent the case there,
I saw that story.
9070.
I saw that story where former President Mahama made some allusions and assertions, and he's of the view that MPP had packed not less than 70 to 80 legal people, judges, who are there to
80 to 100. 80 to 100
to pursue the MPP's agenda. How true is that? Do you have the information to disprove that?
You know, have you been to singing competition before?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. You see, they will give a song, the same song, with musical what to the choir masters to teach. And so when you call the choirs on stage, some will start, then the music masters and the judges will be looking at the notes. You see some people be raising eyebrows. Oh, is this not correct? Some may say it is not correct. At the end of the day, that choir may win or lose. Why? What I'm trying to put across is that Nana-Addo came to power immediately. He started packing the courts. Supreme Court, Appeal Court, High Court, judges here, judges there. People complain. They give flimsy excuses. As if those people need promotion and they have not been promoted. Today, the results have come out. Upon all the cases that they have get in this country, for which at the point in time, the Minister for National Security, Kandapa, at the press conference said that, no, if always one side wins cases that goes to court, it is also a security threat. Or the government wins, it's also a security threat. I hope you remember that statement.
I remember that statement. I remember.
So, that is the National Security Minister. That is the National Security Minister.
He said the judges to this time, some should go to the other side and some should be on one
side.
I remember.
Yes. Do you see how Nam1 is moving in this town?
Free.
By the court. By the court. but the court have the motivation, the energy to tell the question to be coming to court every day. Do you see these two scenarios?
That's right. That's right.
It should tell you something. It should tell you something. We know judges are not God. But as human beings and as citizens of this country, who after God has created us, we made the law to guide us. We have that brain. And we have that eye to look at these two scenarios. Why is Namwan, who have taken the people's money, made people poor, people have died? The court did not ask him to be coming every day. But the person, who even before he was voted as a member of parliament, have retained his citizenship or renounced his citizenship with Canada, that person must be going to court every day. So you ask yourself questions. And the person whom they bust up with in this country is the president. He made the appointment. Justice Honyenuga from the voter region. Just a form of Fanana, and he was promoted.
Once he was even a parliamentary candidate in the voter region.
Yes, a chief. So you see, these are some of the things that are not going down well with Ghanaians. And they are asking questions. And nobody should take it that this is a minority issue. No, it shouldn't be. Everybody, if we sing the song that everybody must get involved in building the motherland, whether you are a lawyer or you are not a lawyer, your effort must be seen geared towards development of this country. That is what it should be. But when we are making effort and others are lackadaisically or reluctantly trying to do other things, then it becomes a problem.
That's right.
Then it becomes a problem. And that is what we should all be alert of and be asking ourselves, are we on the right path? Nalado, whatever he does, the records of this country has it that he has performed poorly. There is nothing that can show him. And if they think, because they don't want to account to Ghanaians, that is why they are fighting the court, they are deceiving themselves. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama asked for a collaboration for a change to be made. A collaboration between the government or the executive and the judiciary. He didn't say he's coming to use his powers. And has it happened in this country before? Yes. You remember President Kufuor's time when he came to power in the year 2001.
That's right.
Didn't he set up fast track high court?
Yeah, he did.
Was Nenado not the Attorney General?
Yes, he was. I remember when they lost the case for the first round.
Yes, that you beat him.
President Kufuor was outside the country. When he came, he had to add
yes.
Judges to the Chachikata versus the Republic, and eventually they won.
Yes. So let me tell you, that is what can happen in future. That is what can happen. Yes. When President Mahama comes again, he will appoint Attorney General. And those faces and noses that we know that they are politically inclined, they will not be part of that bench that will work at the fast track high court. Because it is not about political vindication. But issues like Crow and Associate must be dealt with. Such issues must be dealt with.
Does it mean we have to start expanding in some prisons and the likes?
To me, they should bring the money. They should bring the money. If you send somebody to jail, the government is going to feed the person again.
They come back and then they enjoy their monies.
Yes. So the money, Kroll and Associate, Honorable Sanfo Manfo and the like, they should bring the money. We need the money. If Kenoforeta couldn't tell Ghanaians until they leave office about 52.5 billion that has been transferred into what? Unknown source. He should bring the money.
Honorable,
he should bring the money.
That's right. Is the NDC in bed with the current IGP, and have you in any way given him promises that when we come to power, play for us, so that when we come to power, we'll maintain you as the IGP? How true is that? I'm sure you've been following proceedings concerning the IGP's leaked tape to hoist him out of office, and COP Alex Mensah have said a lot. Is of the view that this is the worst IGP Ghana has ever had. And then he made a very strange statement that this current IGP, Dr. Dampare Akufo, talks to President Mahama almost every day.
With all due respect to all Ghanaians, he who senselessly makes a pronouncement must sensibly come to proof. He who senselessly does what? Alleged must sensibly come to proof.
Well, he has been bold to say that he has a soft spot for the MPP. His family members, everybody's a UP traditionalist. They've been with the UP for a very long time.
You see,
we are not denying most of the things others would have thought conventionally people would have lied about. But he's been bold enough to say, yes, I belong to MPP, I love MPP, and I started lobbying to be the IGP since 2017.
Yeah. So that tells you that it doesn't only mean that until you are a card member before you can do anything untoward to support your party. Is that not it? That is what it means. So if it's lobbying for IGP during MPP time, it is because he wants to support a MPP in a fair or foul means to win election. To win election. Get down. To win election. That is what it means. So all that he's saying, you see that is just shall I say, a bitter police officer who wants to do things in his own way, and that is the reason why he has to brand Dampare as a bad police IGP. That is all that he was trying to do.
Honorable, but
and that is very bad.
Honorable, rising from, I understand you and I get you, rising from the first rank, that's the constable of police, to commissioner of police, you would get to that point, and if you be in the shoes of Alex Mensah, you also wish that you equally qualify to be the IGP. And when you don't get the nod, I don't think you'll be too you'll be too happy about it. You also want to push an agenda. So he being bitter about the IGP, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm sure as human, getting to that level, every COP is eligible to become the IGP. That is if only your lobbying works for you. Don't you think COP Alex Mensah has a case?
But do you lobby with lies? He was lobbying with lies. Has he gotten some evidence? If he said that the officers are not happy, which institution will you go today? Because even at PAPALAW radio, some people will say that they don't like you.
That's right.
That one is normal. That one is normal in every human institution. You get it right?
Yeah.
So if you want to lobby, you lobby to give example of your dexterity and ability. I've led this troop to these people, this place. We've done this. We've done well. We've done that. You get it right?
That's
it
right.
is not to say that this person is not good. He's not good. Why is he not good? People are complaining. If you go today and you say that, okay, he has not been giving the bulletproof jacket to the police people. Is it the IGP who buy the bulletproof jacket, or the government will give money for the bulletproof jacket to be bought?
Well,
has government given the money?
He was at the headquarters and as the director of operations.
Operations.
Yes. In fact, he spoke about this Ayawaso West Wugon, which you guys were brutally beating some of your people, I should say. And
so he described that one as good, right?
Yes, he subscribed to that, and he said it's not an illegality.
So you see his mindset. These are type of person that must be retired immediately he left parliament.
Well,
the mindset is so polluted, even though he's going on retirement. And I thank God you will never be IGP.
This time he's going on retirement this very month.
Yes, I thank God you will never be an IGP in this country. These are the bad political police people we have in the police service that we have been complaining about. Listen to him.
All right, but that also brings to this whole conversation majority of Ghanaians have been making, that you, the politicians, keep pushing certain people into this police service, which should have been a neutral, institution. But here is a case where they go to the politicians and you favor them and tell them, oh, I will enlist you, I'll make sure you are enlisted, and they are finally enlisted. So let's also take a clue out of what COP Alex Mensah has been saying and learn a lesson out of it, and convince us to also know that at the end of the day, we have bad notes amongst the police service. What do you think?
Yes, with that, the problem is not only MPP.
That's right.
And I will advise governments that will come tomorrow to let us realign, restructure the employment situation, especially into the security services. I'll call every government who is always obeyed to send people to police as a lazy government.
That's right.
Because if there are factories and industries working, do you think the boys will be saying that I want to go to police? They will not.
That's right.
They will not. And it is because we don't create businesses, establish businesses, open up the economy. Every politician sees that the only way you can employ your supporters is to send them to police. It is a lazy man's approach. Whether it is NDC or MPP or CPP, it is a lazy man's approach. Countries, when you go to America, they beg people to go to police. They beg people to be soldiers. Why is it that is our priority here? Because in the developed world, the youth are going to ICT. They want to change the world.
That's right.
They are going to agriculture to produce. How are we as a nation, Ghana, contributing to the world food basket? How are we? These are the issues we should be asking ourselves. We are not doing anything. How are we involving our youth in proper mining? Proper mining. How are we involving our youth in proper fishing, processing, canning, distribution, and consumption? The value chain of the fishery sector. How are we in the animal husbandry? So government must focus on that. And then stop promising the youth that I'll send you to police. When I come, we'll send you to police. We'll send you to military. That is a lazy man, a very lazy politician's promise. We should stop that.
That's right.
We should stop that.
Both divide, MPP and NDC.
Both sides. But NPP are more guilty of that. Go check the number of people they've sent for these 7 years. What are they doing? What are they doing? I am not saying they are not enhancing our security, but that is the youthful stage of these people that we send. Please, just a minute, Doc.
No problem.
Your call has been put on hold. Please wait.
All right, so we will get back. We'll try our possible best and then reconnect with Honorable Daniel Ashama. But prices of roasted yam in the north, I'm told, has moved from 2 cedi to 5 Ghana cedis a piece. So it has forced some people to adjust to 101 formation. Meaning they say the idea is formation above, where people eat in the morning and in the afternoon they don't eat, and then eat in the evening. That is the meaning of the 101 formation. So all right, so I'll go for a quick break. When I'm back, we'll do more. Honorable Daniel Sharma, we've lost him, so we'll reconnect him and then we'll do more. So stay right here. It's a Mpɔtam morning show with PAPALAW Perfect. We're streaming live and rocking wide on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. So it's 31 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio. Stay right here. All right, Yeni baby, I call Jumedi Mpɔtam morning show. 34 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio, Monday edition of Mpɔtam morning show. It's time for us to go for editorials. Stick and stay right here. Student dies after his body caught fire during traditional hall procession, right? A student of the Akinten Apia Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development, A.A. Mustaq in Kumasi, has been confirmed dead after his body caught fire during a hall procession at school. Prosper, who should believed to be in his mid-20s, is reported to have died at Okomfoanochi Teaching Hospital, Cat, after sustaining severe wounds from the fire incident. He is said to have been the chief priest of the Opoku-Ware Hall at the university, who usually led traditional rites of the hall. In a video shared on social media, the deceased was seen leading rituals of the hall around an inscription written on the ground with fire, together with other hall members, during which his traditional priest apparel caught fire. Prosper appeared running helter-skelter to locate the nearest water source or an extinguisher at the scene to douse the fire. The incident is reported to have occurred on Saturday, August 27, 2023. His mid and upper body were severely bent. He was confirmed dead nearly a week after being rushed to the hospital for medical attention. Students divided over calls to ban fire rituals at Akinten Apia Menka University. Students of Akinten Apia Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development have expressed mixed opinions regarding the performance of rituals by students at various halls of residence in the school. This comes after the chief priest of the Opoku-Ware, the second hall, caught fire, was severely injured and subsequently died while performing rituals on August 25th. According to the student, they occasionally perform such rituals using fire as part of their recreational activities. They express shock over the incident. Following the incident, there have been calls for such activities in the universities to be discontinued. Speaking to the news, some students of the school have the view that authorities should not prohibit such practices, since they are a source of entertainment. Others have strongly called for such acts to be stopped. A student who is calling for the cancellation of the rituals argues it should be banned, although it's part of socialization in the school. And at the end of it, what are students getting from it? Are they getting something that will develop them, shape them to become good citizens in the country and the school as such? Is the school getting any benefit from it? No. So looking at the incident, you're a guy who has completed school. That is when you have to enjoy yourself. You make fun of it. How can you make fun with fire and petrol? What are you going to get from it? So I think the school should ban it. However, another student who kicked against the cancellation of the ritual on campus said those things shouldn't be banned. It's part of university life. Once you have moved from your house to here, you have to learn all those things. Some of us have social problems at home. So if you come here and do those things, it's easy stress and mental problems. I don't think it should be banned. But we should be careful about how we do it. We should do it in a safe way. Meanwhile, authorities of the school say they have commenced investigations into the incident. The school's management has also asked students to refrain from such activities that could potentially put their lives at risk. One dead, another injured in Accra-Tema motorway accident. A fatal crash on the Accra-Tema motorway has left one dead and another severely injured. According to an eyewitness, a Tema-bound fuel tanker skid off the road and collided with one of the obsolete tow booths at Accra end. Some people who rushed to the scene on hearing the sound of the impact said the driver of the truck, who suffered injuries, has been taken to the hospital, but the mate died on the spot. We encountered police and fire service personnel at the crash scene, maintaining order on the road. The mangled truck has been towed. Narrating the incident, one of the eyewitnesses said, "We heard a noise around 5 a.m. When we came out, we saw a truck carrying some chemicals to Tema. The driver sustained serious injuries. We managed to move him out and he was taken to the hospital. The mate was strapped and dead in the truck. We had to call the fire service to come and cut the part of the truck. It seems he went out of his lane and hit the tow booth. Maybe he was sleeping. If not, this wouldn't have happened." Another also said the driver was speeding. "So we are pleading. The tow that was closed never favored Ghanaians. Compare when the tow booth was in operation and now that it has been closed. And compare the accident that have been recorded. The accidents have become rampant, so the government should do something about it. The closed toll booth never favored us. If they are going to reopen it, they should make it efficient because the place is closed. Drivers go full speed, but if it's in operation, they will kill their speed before they reach the payment point." Traffic diversions created on Accra Tema motorway over construction work. The Ministry of Roads and Highways, acting through the Department of Urban Roads, has announced that traffic diversions are being carried out on the Tema motorway due to the construction of the bridge over the motorway to connect Flower Pot to East Legon. The construction is part of the Flower Pot interchange project. Motorists have been advised to exercise caution and drive at the posted speed limit by adhering to the traffic management sign provided during this period. 6 number height restriction gantry 4.5 meters will be positioned at different locations across the Accra Tema motorway prior to reaching the construction zone. Vehicles exceeding 4.5 meters in height will be redirected to exit the stretch through the designated route. The ministry is therefore apologizing for any inconvenience it might cause during the construction process. No need for IGP to appear before League Tape Committee. Major Derek Odro, former Deputy Defense Minister. Major Derek Odro, retired, has said that there is no need for the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George AKUFO-ADDO, to appear before the ad hoc parliamentary committee probing his alleged ousting. COP George Mensah, one of the top police officers implicated in the alleged plot to oust the Inspector General of Police on Friday, September 1st, to the committee that Dr. Dampare orchestrated the recording of the leaked tape and has original copy and must be called upon if the committee needs the tape. But Major Odro, retired, in an interview intimated that there is no need for the IGP to be invited before the committee. There is no need for the IGP to be invited because it is an accusation against him. And I don't know the terms of reference of the committee. And we are talking about a leaked tape. And I'm not sure the terms of reference cover anything that will warrant the invitation of the IGP. And so I don't think it is in a good direction for them to invite the IGP. The committee should consider the matter as it has been reported in the leaked tape, and that should end it. Major Odro, retired, also criticized the decision of the committee to broadcast its sitting, which he argued could harm public security. I thought it was going to be an administrative inquiry so that some of these things don't come up. They should have been done in camera, because some security issues would have come up and been protected if it was in camera. It is not the best that a certain IGP is being chastised publicly. It is not the best. Agaga thinks otherwise. James Agaga, the vice chairman of the committee, said they may have to invite the IGP to help the ongoing probe. Said in an interview that although former national chairman of the governing New Patriotic Party, the MPP, Bugri Nabu, took responsibility for the recorded audio, recent claims by COP Alex Mensah gave the issue a new twist. Bugri Nabu took responsibility for recording the tape, but today COP Alex Mensah gave the whole matter another twist. He's now alleging that the Inspector General of Police is the one who engineered the recording of the conversation. That is a very serious allegation to make. In all fairness to the IGP, the committee may have to invite him to assist in the investigation to determine if he actually played a role in the recording, so that when it turns out that yes, indeed, he was involved in having the conversation recorded, and he could also help the committee with the authentication. What the committee is interested in is whether the tape in question is authentic or not. Bugri Nabu has already taken the lead by saying that he did the recording. Today you heard Alex Mensah say that aspects of the tape are not genuine. He admitted and took responsibility for some aspect of it. So I think that's only fair that before we make any conclusive statement as a committee, especially as the IGP's name have been mentioned, in line with natural justice, we should hear from him. But that is my personal view for now, Mr. Gaga said. Bawumia has the competitive advantage to help MPP break the 8. Farouk Mahama, the Member of Parliament for Yendi constituency, Farouk Aliu Mahama, says Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has the competitive advantage that can enable the New Patriotic Party to break the 8 in the 2024 poll. Speaking in an interview, he indicated that Bawumia is somebody who is very competent, someone who has gone through the country, who understands every problem in the country, understands the constituent, understands wherever we are coming from, and he's somebody who has that competitive advantage to rally all of us to lead us break the 8. That is how I have chosen Dr. Bawumia. I am not looking at his religion or where he comes from. It also matters because it wipes off that perception that former President John Mahama keeps saying that Northerners are people that have been sidelined, he stated. First Deputy Speaker predicts Bawumia will win MPP primaries with over 68%. Meanwhile, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei Owusu, has predicted that Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will win the November 4th presidential primaries of the MPP with over 68% of the vote in the Super Delegate Conference. The Vice President, who is vying to lead the party into 2024 general election, garnered an overwhelming 68.15% of the vote in a special delegate conference held on August 26. Close contenders such as Ascent Central MP Kennedy Japan and former Trades Minister Alan Chematin obtained 14.30% and 10.29% of the vote, respectively, to place second and third. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch of Professor Kwesi Yanke's book titled The Pen at Risk, Spilling My Little Beans, the Bakwa MP stressed the Vice President eminent victory. He added that Bawumia is the most popular candidate that Ghanaians yearn for to lead the country. The minority files affidavit to oppose police application blocking BOG protest. Lawyers for the minority in parliament filed an affidavit at the registry of the High Court in Accra on September 1st, 2023, opposing the police application to stop them from picketing in front of the Bank of Ghana. The minority had planned to march through some principal street and the frontage of the Bank of Ghana to demand the resignation of the governor of the central bank and his deputies, accusing them of mismanaging the Apex Bank. After a meeting with the police, they were told to change some of their routes, a suggestion the minority rejected. The police then filed an application to stop the protest. The minority has filed a counter affidavit in response. The application is due to be heard on Monday, September 4th, that's today, 2023, while the protest is scheduled for September 5th, that is tomorrow. Lawyers for the minority in parliament yesterday filed with the registry of the High Court in Accra an affidavit in opposition to the all-advised and unfortunate application by the Accra Regional Police for an order to prohibit our upcoming #Occupy BOG protest. March slated for Tuesday, 5th September 2023. The application is due to be heard on Monday, 4th September 2023. The minority, in collaboration with the RITES Ghana, other civil society organizations and well-meaning Ghanaians, are resolved to embark on this historic protest march to demand the immediate resignation of the governor of the Bank of Ghana and his two deputies. The superintendent colossal loss of 66.8 billion in 2022 alone, which has occasioned a negative equity of 55.1 billion Ghana cedis, as well as other acts of financial malfeasance that have completely destroyed the central bank, the minority said in a statement. The minority group and other progressive forces maintain that they remain focused and would not relent until the governor and his deputies resigned. The minority group and other progressive forces remain focused and will not relent until Ms. Governor Addison, his complicit deputy, pliant board of directors resign. Aluta continua, Victoria Aseta. AKUFO-ADDO support Bawumia for MPP flag bearership. Dr. Mwakoba insists. Dr. Richard Mwakoba, former head of the political science department at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Ghana and a member of the New Patriotic Party, has alleged that President Nana Addo Dankwa AKUFO-ADDO fully support the candidacy of his vice, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to lead the MPP in the 2024 polls. There were rumors that the president was supporting his vice to run for the party's presidential elections at the Special Delegate Conference. However, speaking to journalists, President AKUFO-ADDO denied the claims and stated that he does not support any of the then 10 candidates. During an interview, Dr. Mwakoba rejected the president's assertions and emphasizing that it has been his modus operandi to say one thing and do another. Dr. Bawumia is an establishment candidate because of the president because of President AKUFO-ADDO, the leader of the government and the party, they had an undue advantage over the other candidate, primarily because of the support of the president. Even though they are all in the same party, the president may say all sorts of things, but it doesn't matter. We know what is going on. What you are about is not just based on what you say, it's based on what you do and say. And when you put the two together, you're saying one thing and doing another. And this has been his modus operandi for a long time. So we know him. He's saying to cover himself. What you do is more important than what you say. He can say whatever he wants. The establishment candidate, Dr. Bawumia, had an agenda and went full speed, as if this was the real election. The president is looking for someone who will look over his back for him when he's gone. And when they have somehow figured out Dr. Bawumia, because he's part of the government, this is why they are going full-fledged to make sure Dr. Bawumia wins. He told the host of the big issue, Selom Adonu, he decried vote buying in the election process, stating that the hopes of the vice president getting 70% of the vote were dashed. Too much money changed hands. They, Dr. Bawumia, President AKUFO-ADDO, were hoping to get 70%, and they didn't get it, so that agenda is moot. That was the real agenda, but it never came on. There's a law against vote buying, yet the president and his cronies are in the forefront of doing that, he alleged. Dr. Bawumia secured 629 votes, representing 68.15% of the total vote cast, followed by Asin Central MP Kennedy Japan, who had 132 votes, representing 14.30%. On the third and fourth positions were Alan Chematin and Dr. Ushefria Koto with 95 and 36 votes respectively. Francis Adainimo and Boache Jakon secured 9 votes each. The party said members of the National Council will be the delegate for the runoff to break the tie between Adainimo and Boache Jakon, and not the entire delegate who voted in the special delegate conference. Boache Jakon refrained from the runoff, citing unconstitutional rules. The end of our editorials for today. 58 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio. We streaming live and rocking wide on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. I'm going for a break. When I'm back, we'll do more. David Santos, the ghost, is in the house. So let's go for a break. When we are back, we'll hear his voice. It's been a long time.
PAPALAW Radio, straight up.
Afa, Timpawa, yes, now we are. Yamishira, Mamani Paya, the Foa, and Yanum. Yafanya Misroya, Jumana, Yami Besrayan, O'Brien, we are. And I am Sampaetia Obayansa fuso obunia wan kana sam Tema futu sam kakre wa supeme Yo kofi amaya woman Amani ya mama
Yeni baby call is exactly 3 minutes on top of the hour, 9 a.m. GMT in the studios of PAPALAW Radio. As you can see, I'm laughing, Bisa. David Santos.
Attorney the General.
You almost turned into a ghost.
Debbie. We are say one Bob Bray now who situation be more. Obet me up and we but Bob Bray dear. Nyami froze episode Miba situation where dear mean flow and answer minja. It's Brady Bob Bray dear. But once shut down Bob Bray, out me anyhow.
That's right. You have a point. Anyway, we are happy to see you.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's been a while on radio. I mean, you have people asking, where is David Santos? I said, oh, David is doing well. He's on a sabbatical leave.
Debbie, why a mistake? Catch up some at 2 coin kakra. Oh, I said, then away. Only said Juma, anyway, do baby, Mumma leave na ya ko Dubai any Afghanistan, I heard them any idea meko. Any Mexico on say a quago jibasa, o cancer, omo tea.
Welcome from London.
Thank you so much.
If you saw near man, so I buy the baba.
Oh, and dear baby, a big crowd go a reception on men catch them in family.
All right, so what's happening? I think we were doing some projections about the MPP Super Delegate Congress.
Exactly.
And finally, what we were predicting came to pass.
Yes.
We spoke about Bawumia. It's automatic. It's an establishment.
Exactly.
Candidate.
So, for that one, dear.
Yes. How did you receive the news? Bawumia first. Kennedy did some incursions. He was second.
Yeah.
Alan was third.
Exactly.
And Akumanam Tomatoes.
Onukra was surprising me.
He told you that if nobody is voting for him, he has some people who are going to vote.
Show me love.
Yeah.
Because I was surprised to say,
one interesting thing is this particular one they just held, the super delegate. If you have 10 votes, It's like 10,000.
10,000.
Because we are looking at 200,000 delegates going to vote.
Yes.
On November 4th.
4th, yes.
So it means, those figures means a lot. That's why from the grapevine we are hearing that Bawumia and his team are not too happy. They are just pretending. They are not happy about the 68.
The 68.
They were actually thinking they were going to make the Mahama thing 90-something votes against what's his name?
Kojo
Bonsu.
Okay.
Kojo Bonsu.
Okay.
Kojo Poku is MPP.
MPP, yes.
Kojo Bonsu.
Bonsu, yeah.
And it never materialized.
No.
It went on a mood.
Yeah.
And so they feel pissed off. They are not happy. They are just pretending. But the reality is, people are also of the view that don't jubilate. This is not part of. We just whittled the numbers. We were whittling the numbers to 5.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, constitutionally, there shouldn't have even been a winner. But at the end of the day, once somebody gets more numbers,
yes,
definitely we say this one came first.
Yeah, first, and then
that's how it is. But most of them, their prayer was just qualify me.
Yes.
To be part of the five. And then we'll give them the showdown.
And
man use the showdown
yes.
as well. How do you see it?
Okay, Attorney, thank you so much. And I will also like to use this opportunity to thank all those who made time to show love by checking up on me. I'm grateful. Nyami be for no sunu nyami shramu obi yare debia nyami be aha obi yare sometime mo frɛ na mo check wo so na mo die anami boa. Yes, yes. Attorney, you see, I was surprised seeing Kennedy Japan coming second because I was thinking Alan Chamantin will come second. I am not surprised of the polling vote that Dr. Bawumia got because a lot of people we are all aware that a lot of people are showing support, and we know the reason why they are showing support. Yes, and even that. People still have love for their favorites.
Yeah.
Yes. So people were even thinking, Bawumia himself, he was thinking that he might get around 800 going.
I'm telling you.
Sikanashi.
Skandi Omadi.
Yes.
Party one chairman 30,000.
Enyagro.
10,000 at least.
Yes.
A day.
Ebimu di 10,000
by force.
Oh, Attorney.
A day. Ghana cry yejiday.
Yejiday.
Mentias you.
Hey.
Mentias ye. Because say you was Helsikaya. And you find Ghana ye.
Yemfa oh. Attorney.
You Ghana ye ni concert no.
Enuna Emma Enyama bebresi wa Africa country.
We are yeah.
I
was about going there.
Yes.
A probably I fast. I say, officer Benjamin.
Oh, yeah, reshuffle.
I shall.
A military mind is a military mind. Reshuffle, yes, so with you. And your
I can just imagine how the mood, the weight here, or take a body and I'll say, yeah, make ready, almost I say a metaphor. 92-year-old man. Oh, Jidane.
Oh, Quack Jidane.
Eh?
Attorney.
Obedi adiana mumu bi yenwu
oh debi na mi cry
1982 and a papa will better konya so 40 something years
ojiden
why you can say Oma Bongo etna so 41 years yes Gabon 41 years
but I think
owie na ne banali bongo so betna so agroagro ko yetwa you can say 14 years.
14 years.
Almost 7.
7. Okay.
Almost 7. I'm telling you. And so, if you ho, now oba, now better no want to say before. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
I think that is very bad. And I don't know. I think how can a country, one family will be ruling them? That is bad. One country, a country, one family is ruling them for 56 years. Why? Now a country no a kingship and a kingdom.
It's amazing.
That is bad. And they are sitting down all this while. I said whether people do research.
The rest of I'm just envisaging it.
Okay.
Yeah. Make ready any.
Yes.
Where you say? Any achi Ali Bongo share there.
Yes.
And on one video say, my people, please make noise for me. Make noise.
Not noise in bed.
Abuzigi.
Hey, Ateni. So that is very bad. So coming back to MPP super delegate.
Yeah, but you didn't know roti.
Them. Na Ateni. Enya no pe almost say military force omuntia sent ni MPs no omo ball ramu omu fie enya sika omu trading
stash cash that are stash in their homes to blow your mind. Nipa ne namfo Korea for be 5 omo track you omu nyina and an a bad boy and an yere until these 7 people no massa sike nip here omo population is almost also 2.3 million.
Ow.
2.3 billion, but poverty line omo chengana.
I tell you why.
Abro.
Eh?
Beyi etimodin.
Just say I dream me tiasio. 1 year dintin on dream you etimodin sanso na eden. And so Ateni ebanisa our the MPP super delegate no Ateni and kamu kache say military super delegate because na ye two ebini.
All right. So when it comes to politics, we have this great political science lecturer. He's a senior lecturer of political science department in KNUST, Dr. DeGraft, Dominic DeGraft. Doc, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Doc, how are you doing?
By grace, I'm doing very well.
I hope the family is fine.
Everybody is fine.
And our students?
Now the campus is
quiet.
Good. Everything is calm. The students have gone home. We finished the semester's exam, and majority of the students have gone home.
That's right.
And so the pressure on the lecturers and other staff are gone down.
We thank God. We thank God. I'm happy to hear that this will be your resting period. Doc, good to have you again on PAPALAW Radio. It's always a pleasure to have you on radio.
Thank you, my brother.
Doc, let's go straight. I know you're a very busy person and you have a lot of things to attend to. So let's go straight. How do you see the political atmosphere in the Francophone bloc, specifically Niger, Gabon, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea? What's happening? How do you diagnose this as a political, expert?
Thank you very much, PAPALAW.
Doc.
And then I also like to thank your listeners.
That's right.
The PAPALAW FM, the listeners in Kema and the surrounding communities.
That's right.
And I continue to urge your listeners to support their mercy on the PAPALAW FM.
That's right.
And also the businessmen and women in Tema and surrounding communities to continue to, do their adverts in your radio station so that you can mobilize few resources to support such wonderful programs.
That's right.
When you look at the political landscape or the terrain in the Francophone West African countries,
that's right,
you realize that all is not the best. The all is not good for them. Because, you see, when we do democracy or when we practice democracy or democracy as a system of government is expected to be able to bring freedom to people. Freedom in terms of people having access to political, engagement or having access to decision-making process of the country, and also individuals having access to fair hearings before the courts, and then also have the opportunity to, organize or carry out their economic activities without fear or favor. And beyond that, citizens are also expected to enjoy basic social facilities. For example, water, electricity, and other service facilities that are very important to help improve the well-being of the citizens. But now, when you look at these countries, for example, in the case of Niger, in the case of Mali, in the case of Burkina Faso,
that's right,
and then in the recent times,
Gabon.
look at Gabon. In fact, records show that all is not well in terms of their access to political, economic, and even, but by extension, the security, human security. And these conditions, collectively or taken together, have caused the kind of experiences they are going through. For example, the military intervention that they are going through in the recent times.
Doc, it looks like there's a payback time. You look at Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara had to go for a third term. And Paul Biya of Cameroon had been a president since 1982, 40-something years. What were custom days, Doc, with your expertise?
You see, when you look at Africa as a whole, and then you come to West Africa and other regions in West Africa, in East Africa, in Central Africa, and in Southern Africa, you see, our leaders or political elites have not really helped the ordinary citizens.
That's right.
They have not really helped the ordinary citizens.
I agree with you.
And you realize that these politicians are hiding behind the notion or the idea of democracy and end up, wasting the pride
into a dynasty kind
yes
of thing, because
wasting the pride of the people.
That's right. Omar Bongo,
for example, you see, in the great in the the idea of democracy, many of these political leaders come to our assume power through democratic means, and then when they come, they try to change the rules of the game and be able to perpetuate their stay in power. So we have series of examples. When you go to Cameroon, Bobia is there. When you go to Niger, is there. And even in the case of Gabon, we still have similar experiences. And so when you create conditions to make the people, poor, deprived, and underprivileged, they also have to stand out and occasionally, cause social unrest, social movements, and sometimes military have to come in to be able to restore order with the aim of helping, improving the lives of the people who are going through a lot of stress as far as bad governance is concerned. And these are the experiences that we are getting in some Francophone countries in the recent times.
Doc, let's look at Paul Biya of Cameroon. Quickly, we are told that he had to change his military guard and all that. About 12 generals has been changed and new people brought in. Would that salvage any coup attempt?
That is you see, this is a kind of, institutional arrangement that have been, used or mechanisms being used by these unpopular politicians who are still, clinging to office. For example, when you come to Cameroon, you see that President Paul Biya has been in the office for about 40 years, just like what you said. Now,
since 1982.
We want to believe that all the ideas that he has in terms of governance are exhausted.
That's right.
He's also very old because he doesn't even know what he's doing. Sometimes it's even very difficult for him to, appear before the public to present issues facing the Cameroonians. And I believe his administration has also caused some kind of division in the country where the English-speaking countries see the French-speaking countries or French-speaking countries see English-speaking countries as enemies. And so the country is disintegrated. Now, it's a strategy that is used by the ruling government to ensure that he continues to stay in power. So today, he has realized that many of his military officers or the military, many of them are peeved about the rising cost of living, about access to basic social facilities in those countries. For example, better health or quality health, quality education, access to electricity, and then effective functioning of the economic activities. And so the best thing that he has to do is that now, even though he is not comfortable, people are not comfortable even within the military, he also have, loyal members within the military.
That's right.
And so what he has to do is that he has to quickly push the people he seemed not to, support his policies out of the system.
That's right.
So that he will continue to enjoy the system by promoting his members, the loyal members, to head the sensitive position within the military. And this is not the first person. Even when you go to other parts of Francophone countries, the leaders, the presidents or the leaders are still doing that because they have realized that once they are experiencing, other surrounding countries are experiencing military intervention, automatically, given the kind of administration that they are managing, they are likely to face same. And so they have also started changing the military, shaking up the military so that they will bring the people who are loyal to them and be able to continue support their bad kind of administration that they are practicing in those respective countries.
Thank you very much. Doc, my last but one question, very quick, very brief. Teodoro Obiang is the longest serving president in Africa as of today. He is the current and second president of Equatorial Guinea, a position he has held since August 1979. He's the longest serving president, not just in Africa, but of any country ever. Obiang Teodoro came into power after he ousted his uncle, Francisco Macias Nguema, in August 1979 military coup. What will, Doc, I just want to disturb you a little because our listeners are wondering, what is it that a man will sit on a particular throne or a position for all these years and still want to be there? What is it?
See, in the case of Africa, PAPALAW, thank you very much for, the opportunity and then the information provided to help strengthen our knowledge about politics in Africa and African sub-region in particular. See, when you look at Africa, you see leaders or the presidents or political leaders sometimes are very much afraid of their shadows because one, they want to clench themselves or perpetuate themselves in power for two reasons. One, they are afraid that in the event that they
leave power,
they leave power or do the handing over of power to another opposition political party or even their own political party, sometimes the kind of treatment they have to go through is not palatable.
Like Raila,
because one,
like Raila Odinga, and then
what they are going through,
right.
You have to be arranged before a law court, and sometimes you have to go to prison, and in most cases, and so it is not the best for them because they really, they humiliate them right after handing over power to the other opposition political parties or even within their own political party. And so that is not the best for them. And the kind of the respect that they also want to be accorded are not getting again because once they had been president before, they are expecting the ruling government or successive government to be able to recognize them. But sometimes some of these things are not forthcoming. And so given these two reasons, they prefer to stay in power and sometimes by extension, to change some of the, clauses in the constitution to favor them.
That's right.
So that they could continue to stay in power till they die. That one is better for them. So their personal interest is quite paramount as against the national interest. So sometimes some people may be in office for a normal period of time. For example, in the case of Cameroon, he knows that he's not performing any longer because he doesn't have ideas any longer to be able to execute to improve the well-being of the citizens. But then he's afraid that in the event that he, leave the power, the kind of treatment is going to be meted out to him will not be palatable. And so he has to still clench to power so that he will stay there till he dies.
So, Doc, as in the case of Chairman Rawlings and then President Kufuor, when President Kufuor had to ban Rawlings from coming to the military camp and all that, at a point he felt he was not giving those presidential, protocols and all that. I remember there were these cases in most of these newspapers.
Yes, PAPALAW, you see, that has been the tradition because sometimes the current or ruling government is also afraid that given the, even though the president, the people, the public discussion or conversation, may show that the president didn't perform or he had been in office for a number of years and he couldn't perform, fine. But then still, sometimes you see that he still has loyal members within the military.
Sure.
Right? And so when you give the opportunity to him, after he has moved out of the system, to still have interaction with the military, he can still conceive, some ideas, harbor some ideas or, transfer some hidden agenda into them to really influence them. Okay, and that is also a problem because unlike in the developed world where the politicians and citizens really appreciate the core, principles of democracy, in the case of African context, we are hiding behind the notion of democracy and doing something else.
That's right.
And so sometimes even the ruling governments or ruling political parties are afraid of their shadows.
That's right.
Because they know that the idea of or the notion of democracy they are not really, highly rooted into the system.
That's right.
And so when you give the opportunity to, the former president or leaders to have interactions, sometimes with the military, with the police administration, and even sometimes the ordinary citizens, they can change the nature of the kind and the dynamics in terms of the loyalty that these people have or categories of people have with the ruling government. And that is the reason why sometimes they have to, ensure that you are not giving the opportunity to come close to some of these, actors who play a crucial role in the political landscape of the state.
Doc, we hear most political leaders speak like this, and they are of the view that loyalty is sacrosanct in politics. In other words, when you are loyal, they have to support you. So let's come to Ghana. Is Ghana sitting on tenterhooks for a very good reason? People of the view that we have an establishment candidate in the person of Dr. Bawumia, and President AKUFO-ADDO is supporting. Dr. Amwakoba had made a lot of assertions and allegations about this. Bank of Ghana has spent 60.8 billion. We had these losses, and I also had a liquidity loss of 55 point something billion Ghana cedis. The minority is embarking on a protest that's tomorrow. The police service went to court to, so to speak, stop them from occupying Bank of Ghana. And there's been back and forth. Today, they've also filed affidavit at the High Court to also overturn the decision of the court in favor of the police service. Doc, with your experience, adding all these together, is Ghana sitting on tenterhooks? And what's the way forward? The MPP over, I think last week, elected, they had to whittle the numbers to 5. and Dr. Baumia came first with 69 votes. Kennedy Japan surprisingly took the second spot. Alan Martin followed up, and then Honorable Afia Koto also came fourth, and there was a tie between Boachie Jakun and Adainimo. Finally, Jakun had, backtracked and decided to stay off the whole runoff because he feels there are a lot of unconstitutional stuffs in there. Doc, combining all this, what's your take on this one?
PAPALAW, thank you very much for such a wonderful question.
I'm humbled.
PAPALAW, you see that Ghanaians voted in the 2016, right?
Yes, sir.
Against the NDC because they realized that, or they thought that NDC was not performing because at a point, Ghanaians were going through economic woes. Cost of living was very high. And when you come to education, at a point, we realize that it was not doing very well. So as the health and then even the economic activities.
That's right.
And so the intention of the Ghanaians, was to ensure that they bring another political party to form a government to come and address these, crucial challenges that Ghanaians were going through at the time. But then let me tell you one thing, and I believe you will support that.
That's right.
We see when we come to Africa, in terms of democracy, we see that Ghana stands tall. Because
right.
when the country transitioned to democratic rule, the Fourth Republic, you see, we have not experienced any political, instability.
That's right.
Right. Government goes. Yes, government comes, government goes. We do election, and then we, transfers position or leadership to another political party or to the same political party, and that should be telling us that our democracy is consolidated. And we also practice, Ghana as a country also, has, democratic deepening. Democracy is deepening, and then we also enjoy democratic quality because we observe some of the principles in the context of African situation. Now, the new government, right, or political party that form government, in fact, given the promises and the manifesto provided by the then NPP and today the government, you see that the government has really done very well in terms of the provision of social services and those other promises. The government has done very well, but the expectations are too much on them because Ghanaians were expecting more from the ruling government. But despite that, the government has done a lot. But then the other few areas, for example, in the area of corruption, right, and some few areas that I believe the government has not been able to perform very well.
And
but on the whole,
Doug, you remember this current government campaigned more on corruption and corruption-related issues.
Great, PAPALAW. And these are the few areas that I think the government has not done much in those areas. Now, we see NDC has been a very strong opposition political party because when you come to Ghana, we have only two dominant political parties that alternates power or leadership.
That's right.
Either MPP or NDC. You see, on the end, we have not to forget the fact that Ghana is for all of us. So whether you are NDC, whether I'm in MPP, or whether I'm in NDC, or whether at the end of the day we are all Ghanaians.
That's right.
And so even though leadership is very paramount, it's very important, right? We also have to be able to come out with some kind of alternative policies or concrete, criticisms and then alternative policies for ruling government. And that is what exactly is expected of NDC as a leading opposition political party in the country. That's right. You see, MPP is not performing in certain areas, but then you need to come out with alternatives. Giving them alternatives doesn't mean that they are going to use the alternatives to ensure that they still perpetuate themselves or win political favor. No, you do it for public to see that, no, this political party is also doing very well in terms of giving them alternative policies. But the problem is that NDC is not doing that. Because for me, I see that because the interest in the power or leadership is pushing them to also criticize them in a way that ruling government become unpopular. Yes, we become unpopular on the eyes of the Ghanaians, so that they get the opportunity to form the government. But at the end of the day, if they don't perform and you also come and you are also not able to perform, then it means we are not going well as Ghanaians.
So, Doc, sorry to cut in. This is where a lot of Ghanaians are raising concerns that going into 2024 elections or polls, if we don't take care and there is any disagreement, unlike 2016 where there was a large winnable margin between the now President AKUFO-ADDO and then former President John Dramani Mahama, the difference was very wide. Even in 2020, there were a lot of issues here and there. If something untoward like this should happen again, if there is closeness, and Justice Atuguba has made it clear that elections are won at the polling station. And so, if it should happen, others are of the view that if care is not taken, the military will come in and say, hey, you guys have been coming, this one go, this one come, this one go. We won't allow you to go on again. We are taking over the country. Don't you see a possible turn of events in that direction?
Thank you very much, sir. You see, when we talk of democracy, Ghana stands very tall. And we also have to understand that the people, citizens, including the military, are politically conscious. So the level of political consciousness are positive, are heightened in Ghana than many parts of Africa. Okay. For example, the role that the media houses are playing in terms of helping us understand politics has really gone down to the extent that when you go to our villages, right, our mothers, fathers who are still at the villages have also realized the importance of politics. We know because of the work that PAPALAW and his people are doing.
Thank you, sir.
And so, because of that, when we come to Ghana, for example, there is no way that we will experience, political instability in the country. No.
Okay.
That one is no. Because Ghanaians are politically conscious. And we know the consequences of military intervention on the country.
Because we've
refugee movements,
of them, yes.
In the security issues and economic health and education. So Ghanaians will never do that. And so that is the reason why we said that Ghana stands tall in terms of democracy when we come to Africa.
Okay.
But the fact is that Ghanaians expect development, right? So whether it's Party A or Party B on power, our expectation is to ensure that the country gets development. And for me, I see that it's a good opportunity for the both political parties to be able to parade a credible candidate. Right. So when you are able to, present a credible candidate, then you leave the decision out for the ordinary Ghanaian who is a voter to decide whether we have to retain the ruling government or we have to ensure that we give opportunity to, the opposition political party to come to power and come and continue what the ruling government has done or has been doing.
Doc, you realize that Ghanaians keep saying, now we can know where the heart of the politician is. They come to us, they tell us, we'll do this, we'll do that. But when they are in power, their story is entirely different. So we did a research, and if you interview 10 people, they are like, oh, this politician, oh, leave them. That's all they know. When they win power, they will forget you. So monocracy has also taken the center stage. The MPPs just ended Super Delegate Congress. There's been a lot of accusations left, right, center, and the fact is they have all agreed that they share monies. they do vote buying, but the one who pays more wins at the end of the day. Now, Dr. Bawumia has been projected to be the flag bearer. People are of the view that it's automatic. He's going to win the November 4th. Alan is also a sleeping lion who they think can cause a surprise. The most vociferous one is Honorable Kennedy Akopre-Kwejiakon. Kennedy Japan, I should say, sorry. Doc, finally, before we let you go, we've taken enough of your time, but it's worth it, I suppose. With all these, with your political lens or spectacles from where you sit, who is going to be the flag bearer of the MPP? And if you are pairing the two, the MPP's candidate and then John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you, PAPALAW.
Thank you, sir,
for such a very good political analysis. Senior, when you look at the political arrangements that we have in the NPP now, you see, we are aware, and you have rightly said so, that monocracy is gaining a strong peak
on the ascendancy
in the politics of Africa. You see, when you come to Ghana, is there, you go to Nigeria, other parts of Africa, you see similar instances where potential candidates, be the presidential candidates or parliamentary candidates, have to pay huge sums of money to the electorate to convince them to vote for them. And so we have agreed that sometimes we all have to pay, but the higher bidder is to get the opportunity to become the leader or wins the election. And that one is a record. It's there in many parts of Africa. Now, when you come to MPP, the elections, the recent ended the election, and then the one that they have scheduled to the November 4th election. You see that, for me, I realize that even though we have, very, competitive election, or we are likely to have very competitive election, the vice president stands tall because people may say that the vice president has not been able to, his government has not been able to perform well.
Yeah.
But then the very people who are also going to contest him are also part of the government. Because Alan was a minister, and then this man, Kennedy Japan, is also a member of the parliament and representing the party at the parliamentary discussions or at the parliament. And so he also has greater insight about whatever the government is doing.
Contracts from the government as
yes.
well. So.
But now when you look at the three of them, of which each of them has the ability or has the opportunity to become the flag bearer, when you look at the three of them, you realize that the vice president, Dr. Bawumia, stands tall because of the kind of experiences that he has as a vice president, and also has been with the party,
a candidate,
taking into account the role that he played in the few years to come, in the few years back, when they had to arrange the election before a law court and whatever. And so the popularity is also there. Now, beyond that, he's also a very young person, where Ghanaians have realized the importance of youth and in holding sensitive positions. And that is the reason why when you go to NDC, you see a lot of youth holding positions when you come to MPP and then other smaller political parties. And now, for me, I see that Ghana is likely to write a history when the country agrees that, or the two political parties agrees that we have to, parade true Northerners to contest for election.
That's right.
is going to be a legacy for the country. And for me, I want to believe that even the NDC members who are not necessarily or like that institutional political arrangement to take place, and even the candidates will prefer that they bring another Northerner to contest him. That is, he will prefer that compared to other person. And so for me, that is going to be a legacy and will help strengthen the democracy of the country. Now, I believe that when two of them contest, irrespective of the kind of discussions, conversations that Ghanaians have against MPP on grounds that the government has not been able to perform well, Dr. Bawumia stands tall and he can break the 8 for MPP. Amazing. So it can break the 8 for the MPP easily. Easily, because of his background, somebody coming from Zongo community, a Muslim, and then also his association with the Christian communities and the youth in Ghana.
Wow. Amazing assessment out there. Doc, your final words. We're thinking enough.
My final words goes to the Ghanaians. Even though we know it has not been easy, economic activities are not doing very well, cost of living is very high. Sometimes access to crucial social services, electricity, water, and health. Sometimes we don't even have better access to these quality services. But still, Ghanaians are doing very well. So we have to continue, to project or to support the government, and also continue to support the opposition political parties, so that they can also come out with very good policy alternatives. When we do all these things together, we can help the ruling government to work better, so that at the end of the day, we may have better place to live as Ghanaians. Because irrespective of our political parties, whether political party A or political party B, we are in the same boat. And so we have to support the leader of the boat as we have now, so that you'll be able to perform very well for us to be able to enjoy our better standard of living as Ghanaians. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. We are so grateful. Always a blessing and a pleasure to have you on radio. We are so grateful. Thank you for educating us. All right, so I've been speaking with Dr. Dominic DeGraft-Atta. He's the senior lecturer at KNUST, Political Science Department. David Santos, Doc Akasa. Wakasa papa.
Very deep.
Na o mic no was.
Me mic ni there also.
Was so ampa. Na Bawumia.
Yes.
Bawulaya. The popularity there you can't run away from it.
Yes, exactly. For that is there. It is there.
Yes. But I want a shocker. November 4th, we perceive BBC.
No, but you see, when we are comparing the popularity here, okay, Doc said something, but I don't want to agree to that. I also,
you agree to disagree?
Yes. You see, when it comes to popularity, yet
you popular, so
lose election. But say,
because Bawumia be as what to social media so.
Yes.
Uchro bibiana ni nipa bia ba. As will be the from yeah, I'm about to say swamp.
Yes.
Of a
that is it.
Bees.
But I tell you, do you know something? Popularity now here come on. No, or can say.
Translated to.
Yes.
About what it is.
But so here can the Japan
Obi.
Or popularity no or no and only on the political field.
Obi appearance.
Or no dear or wo baby.
On dear.
Aha.
Obi or start here. Obi a COVID they shed them now two are so for so sa. Giddy. Obinim.
Oh, wa ma obini akọ.
Obinim ajere samba sa.
Enya agro.
Everybody.
Say the live band obo.
What's that is our program club at the seat.
The seat. Yeah.
It's a different guy been was. Sa brand or Casado. Na fusecho. Your friends are Kofi Anai, Kwaku
Anai. Yes.
And me, you are playing with me.
Yes.
Buhuano ko, Usubempo, Buhuano, near Grad. Now just a bassa.
Oh, I tell you. And so, when it comes to popularity, both of them were popularity no. And I can say on Kennedy Japan who hear ni sa no enye only the political front per and our popularity no. But especially those he like to engage pan the youth.
Yeah. Mahusa abrantia na no say ye friends Kwame A plus. Mahusa wa shase ne na ma yi campaign krama.
Enya agro.
Or say people's project no ama to nso.
Yeah.
They say the omanyo. And as a creatives, you know.
Eba.
Dodo na say I think say we need a radical president.
Yes.
Bi obebo bo asumu obanu apam kofie.
No one enya
kofie na me ko first kana wa wi agu ono. Straight nye ko a police for match na na mfa ne nkwa yi.
Enu na enya sesi anu because right now I don't want to believe say November 4th no Dr. Baumia win.
Kennedy so betu escapa.
Oh, sir. And a baby
Alan so escapa.
Yes.
People don't know that.
Escapa. And a baby oh, also ebono.
Boy quiet as a sleeping dog bio. It can cause a surprise.
Sana more for big brains welcome. But onim show down
delegate na. Asante foreign to ma ayisa o. Omo baby on beto.
Yes. And no don't me change your mind. Yes. I will say on you.
Minim pass omo baby on beto.
Yes. And I think only
say na dodo on.
Dodo on so echo go on. I think say say so show down. Am manipa who say bema wo fie.
Ye be kwa yi kura ye be ko ho ayi
walk. Knife one.
From ayi kuma to Ebri.
Sesia uko YouTuber Kennedy nkwan
ayi mensa
entino baby a agyen ko do sesia no so ase akọ Kennedy Japan line
Ghana form pe soldier there but ye he obi a president ni so ehye
yeah utimi ka kire say o dia o ye jai
masa ko
trafi sika no fabra mi an kasa na mi de ma fa ni nyina bra na coffee asa these are the leadership that we need right now.
The crocodile the John OSP ni court here.
Yes. Hey.
The president D can say, oh, I know you be cleared and Oma clear. Hey.
Yes. And I just want you see this
because OSP no was 7 days he said in kind of were freezing or the back court. Akoji huntu.
Or see em fama no.
And no share that it's not what. Ni no more plan you. Almost said that one call OSP Koyanka and Yen is a court to say on first
okay.
One corner. Bisa said they almost transit scheme. So all the freezing is Ghana man call. 7 days in each according to the OSP Act. It's a court and it's where Jirani to me so says Sadia Fanisika man within 7 days. The 7 way are young Wajuma way I in the mammy eventually Sikanaba man who said Director of Operations for OSP Ajia Tumu said near court can on Ben is up but they will also go to court and see what will happen.
Kosifi entertaining between what we are witnessing right now.
David Santos
attending
Obia Tina Kunya so 41 years or Jiden was so. Hey, me damn one.
African one so say Dr. De Graft Ekache say the political leadership in Africa is not helping the citizens.
I'm telling you.
But the leaders are benefiting. And you know when the citizens say obibufu sa na ko do bebia
we the political analyst ni nyina say o cool the to me see Ghana. Yo yate.
Na there sinu na obi ya we say
beba. Do baby na Ghana for bufu sa na. Let's be honest.
Okay.
I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Say Bibi, to say Kusi wa Ghana. You can imagine how many Ghanaians will support it. Opa choto.
Okay, yeah.
As one didi you know, now everybody Obia Kurana se kura who say politician here made you sika. Na metoma wa oko transfer 4 years no amambie ni kura medi. That's why they say money crash, you know. Aye normal one man miska one to ya kese a untumi go to ya kese anke so wi ni
Debbie
that guy Coca
yeah
ko je finish easy but otua ye eti abeya de o ma beje atum nti say Ghana for ni politicians chain obi a. Oni say sa politician atron ko amu wi a omonkai o.
Omonkai. Entine enye yebeji.
Ah, normal pay you kura sorry them you on beshebo. Remember mo 50 bags of cement.
Yes.
100 blocks. Remember mo check of 20,000.
One gini tem.
Ho.
Na Yakobo TV a uhunu bio.
Okope. Yes, a bounce. Checking and bounce.
Yeah, attorney, before I be konum. On say super delegate Congress na MPP for Ekoyen. The same day no and one of our colleague journalists, Ebisa, His Excellency Nanado Dankwa AKUFO-ADDO, say looking at how the economic is in the shaky way. Osiwajiatum. And the next government will come and fix it.
I mean, Okawa had the say politics there.
Yeah.
We did 3 years the war term Musubia.
Yeah.
Sadia Dasso. For politics.
For politics.
I feel you work for the bit by baby.
Yeah.
Me pacho Ukraine bomb no majato.
Oh, da.
Omugusuto.
O see.
Omugusuto bomb.
Oh, na and
to kwani mu krasa afekra ne mu ayede. You understand? Etina kire say omo ne yede shop that na say economy na enye ye biem.
Ateni. Me I'm faithful I'm happy say wa bi na no aka no kre. But ateni say wan kasa wajia tum se si ase economy say ya na beti ekodu time obefri akonya ni so a ene onko or resign because yent me ntia nka from now to the time as 7 December 20
oh sika na kra de ono eye ho adwuma dada article 71 holders no emolument no wafa 5 member committee etijat okay karo to ono se mahama na eba o se baulaya na eba o se ala na eba o se Kennedy na eba o enyom ne betua nka oja
onu agasa atia ni nka
AKUFO-ADDO pre-mine.
What kind of country are we in?
Addo Rosalinda.
Yeah.
Addo bog. Hey, me that say. Me na no was a camera that so and ya there me feel.
Oh. I see.
No.
No. No patch say we ends.
Na boga na ye den.
Na ye den.
He didn't do a doso. Only the president and he didn't.
Bebre kwa. On Tijai. Addo Premai. King Promise.
Sewa Bruni.
Showman.
Addo Sewa Bruni.
Addo Gagai.
Hey. Anyway, David Santos. Fire service for say one car some bephobia. Timunyai. Moi. Yeah, dada mo say.
Yeah, foul.
Yeah, funny posse. Ghana National Fire Service cautions we are not recruiting. The public has been urged by the Ghana National Fire Service to ignore any job postings that appear on social media. The service claims that it is not hiring and that it is not calling potential employees for medical exams, appointment letters, and attachment or training. Hey, near ya, and say, almost say, almost fire nipa.
And I think
none of the area. I could social media. By now we do music.
And na me baba kan no. Ade we.
I want for the divorce.
Oh, ateni me say.
O tell the corner view.
Obi akotu adada o eji form. Sound dey o call fire service. E ka be vie.
First and ka call fire so how mere o.
Ozi
fire.
Fire.
O kwa America soldier for a force of no more you.
Yes.
Navy, name it, all the forces.
Na Korea.
Baraha.
Yes.
Politician ye campaign or crackers a member and listed. There's some toss.
Ateni.
Aqua be final words.
Me final word dear me ateni unim. Manchester United for Omugu and
Manchester disunited.
Oh dear me
United said
team.
Yeah, passing on here. Yeah, be ya na he light a crack off because mu team in your papa.
Oh, there be won't me casa.
Oh, none, baby, boy, you Gina or person.
Can't think you bet me.
Right, who are one near the bonfire.
Not here, Ateni. Te ha me nim den.
Me pacho.
Na Martinez, Epra, Udi Magua. Or Gina. Original sana Declan Rice obia auto rice obia to esa ye ni won advert.
Davis out.
Testy ball na magwa tumrika ko obia onu boy ni hon. Ama akwana bo shot.
Okwa the national team so perform fine.
Oh wow, jai onye jai sa de no omu happy happiness ni team manya te say.
Share, unim so ono na the highest paid defender.
Ewo England. Yes, sir. Oma happiness ama oma to ama.
Eti over so just o chief high man or
yes.
Hype.
Oh, mu happy ana yesu yakoto ye. Chelsea happy sa akwa fun we.
Kakao
Mount. Akwa Mount.
Yeah.
Dia man akwa ni ba ye hu ni. Na just minti ase o.
The visitors.
The management of a Manchester United just yeah ngasa na see.
Glazers no. Omo no business no mu ye o. Omo ball no be win o. And for mo.
Oh, ateni but omo go club name maso.
Mini pay me do free Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Sana mo so na ye problem. Oko enti mu wini.
O de be bad tea.
Oh. What say one na ye problem. Glazers no. Ono point out niama ama Manchester ka echire. Said they betuma pick the pieces.
No, ateni.
Osi ofi ho 2009 was then call Real Madrid.
Yes.
Hey, oba back no. A year mode Jimmy, my friends say machines are mode. It's the same. Nothing has changed. Or no cry fear. What you have any fear? Korea gadget go. Any machines.
And don't talk be begu one man. Ateni Demi Bachelor say the okay and but you don't go and sit in front of the media to say that enu ni problem no.
Yati.
Aha.
Say what boy Arab League.
Nami Cristiano Ronaldo mimi player out. Enya Messi.
Saturday say you 850 goals.
Yes. Obi antimi breaking.
Yegusu.
Yegusu a.
Yebeshesa.
But Manchester no dey. Me said that omu ye ye beton team no.
Hey.
Ye dey restaurant.
David Santos.
Chelsea for way me ba Chelsea for way.
Oh no, a Forest for national.
Oh, now Tifie Obi Bush or the Bush.
Aye.
Usu Tifie.
Woman almost have cried over your mobile.
Na the am ya say me prayer or ye fun amaton or no I show.
Almost of I. Almost of a player be no more friends. I brought TV or my
Casedo.
Aye.
Almost
China. Essing your kaki to
oh, the most hired distinct
player. For the first time, Michaelia no money.
110 million pounds.
Aquana more you.
Omogi, Oba a friend, ye manu or the what a penalty by a cabefi.
Chelsea. All right, David Santos, that was say. All right, or might be ye female me and Ghana, you know, dear ha, dear did you make This is where we draw the curtains on today's program, Mpɔtam morning show with PAPALAW Perfect. Thank you, my producer, Ju GH, the only PAD holder at PAPALAW Media. So a fake blogger we saw here. And Raudo or the Gua so for so sa. Besides, so no so the soft in I told you. As what or hearing back coffee praise. Michiao, Marchi. But next on your radio, Kofi will come your way with Ghana and Sam, and then Mark Black will come your way with Pillow Low Drive. So we saw for dinner to so my bra. My boy is for fro. I'm the one. PhD holder. Hey, Master, yes, is obey PhD. Yam monster man, yam monster. Or he never coffee praise. Why are D? I come call a cage. Hey, Andra, what are you so for? And I'm so bad. Oh, man, I yard my back. Mama can see a bit breaky. And now we are a DJ Jaro.
So we pre-radio.
All right, so this is where we draw the curtains on today's program, Mpɔtam Morning Show. I hope you have been blessed, you have been informed, educated, and above all, entertained. Stick and stay right here. Enjoy the rest of our program. Until then, straight up, don't crooked up. We'll meet tomorrow at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. GMT. I'm out.